Hi guys, welcome back to the Funky Evolution Party. I hope by now you've really started to work on yourselves and get into your own heads and break down all those mental barriers. Today I thought I would cover mental health. So I've prepared you all an espresso martini and I baked some chocolate brownies. Um, can't say there's many of them left, and I had to fight my cat for those last bits there. But mental health is actually something that is seriously affecting all of us. Mm. Now, since lockdown, we've all been put into our cages. As mentioned, a bit of a forced for passion now, forcing us to really go internally and start to look at the things that are not making us happy. Now, I can tell you a lot of it is not your fault. Some of it is because, don't get me wrong, you know when what you're doing is not right. You feel it in your guts and you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. And you do it anyway. So we have to take some accountability for our actions and understand that if you consider yourself a responsible person, you can't pick and choose, oh, I want to just be responsible here, but I don't want to be responsible there. I.e., if your baby's nappy needs changing, it needs changing. Whether you want to do it or not, it has to be done. And sometimes we need to clean out all the mental crap that's been put in there. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of a technique in terms of what I find very helpful in, computers. It's going so slow. Why isn't it working? It might need reformatting. It might have a lot of programs in it that are just completely useless. And we need to maybe just wipe the entire thing clean and then look at what programs we're going to start putting back into our brains. Mental health is not just entirely your fault, but it's also the fault of the education system, and then you are what you eat. And that is food, i.e. the chemicals that we're putting into our body. Then I'm not feeling so well, so I go to the doctor and I'm given an antidepressant. And then I'm told that there's this virus and they're going to put that into me. And then I'm just feeling really like, You're playing roulette with your brain every time you put something in your system. I know with chocolate, I might just get a little bit like, woohoo, for 20 minutes, but that's it. There's not going to be a long-term balance. If I have that, then I also know that if it's grown correctly, there's going to be the balance already in there. But when we're given all these different things, the radio, the news, all of that, we start to freak out because we don't understand who we are. Now, I'm going to take this hat off for a second. Maybe we should just go on a bit of a safari hunt and find out where are we actually going to get the answers. Where's the treasure map? It's actually found inside of you, and sometimes you need to just write it out, figure it out, and then I start to look at how we can actually have fun by maybe fancy dressing up a little bit. I.e., we all have different characters, and sometimes in order to get into that mindset, a bit of fancy dress can help you do that. I want to look at how we can start to incorporate different disciplinary areas that have never actually merged together, i.e. psychology and astrology, because I can tell you, prior to this time last year, I thought I was super cursed, and then when I realized that every single astrological placement was when major things went crazy in my life, if we're actually prepared for these moments, i.e. I've done my, okay, then we don't get completely knocked sideways when they happen. And it's about how we start to understand the bigger picture and then how that affects us individually, i.e. all the stuff that I'm being pre-programmed. I have to look this way, I have to act this way, I have to be... Guess what, guys? I think I've said this before, but it's all been done before. There is no more shame. There is no more guilt. If people have been cheating, you've been caught with their pants down, you name it, it's been done. So it's time to do something different. And that is by taking ownership of yourself and of your own ship and starting to understand how we can then go and find our treasure islands, because every time we take something, there's going to be a reaction and then another reaction. And then if we're not careful, we project that onto others. And so instead of balancing, we're battling. Now, if we started to look at disciplinary areas like human resource management and how that fits into our everyday lives, i.e. I go to work, but what is it that I'm working for? My kids, my this, my that. Then how we can actually start rewarding people. So what is it that you want? Oh, I want more time off, or I don't want time off, I want to work and then have time off. Or why don't we get smarter at looking at how we can have 24-hour systems where different people like to stay awake and some people like to sleep. Not everyone wants to start work at 8:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning. And if we rotated things, i.e. 3 or 4 shifts over, then there'd be less unemployment because more people would be working, and then we'd have a higher turnover because there would be more office hours. If that makes actual sense to you guys, we can actually do a bit of a social audit, see what's not working and how that's affecting us, i.e. I watched a movie last night, I think it's called Bernadette, about an architect who went through a series of depression, and she stopped creating or being an artist, so therefore she ended up as a menace to society. Sounds very familiar, right? Most of us don't have time to create. So we sit under our little mushroom stools, freaking out. It's a crazy mad trip. It could be. But if we used the power of the mushroom and the liberty cap, we could actually liberate ourselves, because science is a little bit lazy. Deep depression systems, high pressure systems, all of that can be found in a storm. It's the same as my pirate philosophy. Everything is a double shot of something else, and it's how you look at it as to how your brain is going to react to that. And again, having some fun with it. Doesn't have to be scary. I remember I've helped a lot of people with depression, but the little old lady who it just kept going, she couldn't deal with it, and everyone just thought she was batty and crazy and mad, but she was like a genius. She was like the queen of recycling. But because she had to keep everything and not throw anything away, you couldn't walk through the door. And it's not about hoarding this information. It's about understanding that we need both wings to fly, and there's always a wing commander on the other side, and it's how we start to bridge these disciplinary areas that have been kept so far apart and also left us feeling like, whoa, what's happening? I'll tell you guys what's happening. It's time for alienation to really go, hey, hold up. Doesn't have to be like this. With a bit of change. I'd like to say this party is a free party, but a suggested donation of change. Change your mindset. Change your actions. Change the way you look at yourself locally and then globally, and then how we can change and use so much knowledge from everywhere to put those jigsaw pieces of ourselves together and understand, like my thumbprint, I am unique, you are unique, and you can't use someone else's keys to get into their house. So it's up to us to start looking at how mentally we can become all fit and healthy and start to become stronger individuals. So therefore, we're no longer relying on the dictatorships, but actually starting to steer our own ships and have some leadership. I hope that you guys have all made your own Mad Hatter's tea party, espressos, martinis, and get to work, guys, because I'm telling you, if we don't do it, who's going to do it? So get your hats on. Please like, share, and get the message out there. Cheers.